James Harden takes the $15 million pay cut. Sixers are about $4 million below the apron right now. Can you walk us through some of the options that the Sixers have now?
Yeah, I mean, they're like you said, they're about 4 million under the apron, and that becomes a hard cap because they use their larger, their non-taxpayer mid-level, and their biannual exception. So they have to stay under $157 million in salary. They have a little bit of flexibility, not really to sign anyone per se, because they only have minimum contracts left. Really, what that would come down to is if they want to make a trade either here in the coming weeks, because it seems like every superstar in the league is available for a trade right now, or whether that is at the trade deadline or in season. So they have a little bit of flexibility. Reportedly, we still haven't seen the official numbers on the Harden contract, but assuming that $15 million pay cut off of that player option is true, then they have about 4 million, maybe a little bit more because they have to still cut one player. They have 16 players under NBA contracts. So they have to make one cut by the end of training camp. A lot of those players have either partial guarantees or non-guarantees. So they could have maybe $1.5 million more to work with in a trade. But it's really having a little bit of flexibility in a trade is what you're looking at.
Did you see those Bobby Marks comments
About the investigation Rubin? Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw him.
I thought, and this was in your newsletter, you had the scenario, and here's the comments for anyone who wants to read it. You had the scenario where,
and this is comments from Bobby.
From Bobby, yeah, this is from Bobby. This is not from the newsletter.
I was gonna say I don't remember saying this, but I also didn't remember saying I would never do the newsletter thing again. So maybe
Yeah, you weren't at the Michael Rubin party.
No, I was not invited to Michael Rubin's party.
But you in your newsletter, you had that scenario where it was like, there's a chance that Harden balls out this year, opts out next year, and then he's asking for even more money from the Sixers, and they feel they have to pay him to surround Embiid with stars. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be more teams with cap space next summer. So right from the jump, you have more teams who could theoretically be interested and give him a good contract. If he comes back and plays a little better, I do think part of his lack of burst last year was related to the hamstring. I don't know what percentage wise it was, but I think part of it, he could come back and be a better player than he was this past year. Maybe not nearly what he was even in 2020, but somewhere in the middle. And if those two things happen where he does play better, whether that's because the hamstring's better or just he knows how to play alongside Joel Embiid better, and there's more teams with cap space, he could get a significantly better contract next summer. I think that's a possibility. Now, I will still give him credit. This is still he did still take a pay cut because he could have just opted in that $47.4 million and been in the same spot where he would have been a free agent next summer, and the Sixers wouldn't have been able to sign PJ Tucker and Daniel House. So I still give him credit, but there is still a little concern. I do look at this as a one-year contract, with maybe a little bit of catastrophic injury assurance built into that. But I do expect him to be a free agent next summer. And yeah, he could be it's tough because he'll be going on like 34 or something next summer. Mm-hmm. But things could play out where he could maybe have a little stronger negotiating leverage, for sure.